Hi everyone, I'm Nicole with fitnessblender.com, and today I have your restorative bodyweight workout for sore muscle days. This workout has two parts to it. First, we'll be going through a 12-minute movement series to get everything loosened up, warmed up, and get your blood flowing. From there, we'll take it into a 10-minute stretch series where we'll have 12 stretches, 50 seconds apiece, nice long holds to get everything stretched out and loosened up. No equipment is necessarily needed for today. You may want a mat or comfortable space on the floor for some of our stretching. Modifications will be provided as needed, and no warm-up or cool-down is needed for this workout. So you can just jump right in and get started. Let's dive in. We're going to get started with our movement series. We have 12 exercises, one round, 50 seconds of work, 10 seconds to rest and transition. You won't need your mat until the very end of this series, so feel free to push yours to the side if you would like to. All right, let's get this timer started and let's get moving. 10 seconds on the clock. We are starting with a simple march in place here. So just stand up nice and tall with me, feet close together. And just start to march it out. Today's goal is nothing strenuous. It is to loosen everything up. So I want you to kind of get in that mindset of just moving your body today, getting everything nice and loose, because that is one of the best cures for muscle soreness, muscle stiffness. Rather than sitting, it's nice to move the body, keep that blood circulating, work out that soreness. Good, just keep marching, try to get your knee up to about hip height. Feel free to choose a pace faster or slower than me. Good. Perfect, we have 10 seconds to transition. We're gonna head into cross reaches next. So feet are slightly wider than hip distance here. We're just gonna reach across the body. So I want you to pivot on your toe, reach across towards that opposite wall, really thinking about moving that shoulder blade away from the spine here. So really creating some space in your upper back as you do this. Hips are turning with it here, so it's not a full rotation or a full twist, but rotating those hips with the shoulders. And you guys feel free to play around with any of these moves today. If something is coming more naturally to you than what I'm showing you, like the goal is just to move. So don't feel locked into anything that we're doing today. Just move your body, make it your workout. Perfect. All right, 10 seconds. We're gonna head into an inhale to step back. So as I inhale, arms are going up overhead. I'm gonna step back. So big inhale, arms overhead, step it back, drive that back heel towards the floor, up and down. Back up, opposite leg steps back, and together. Inhale up, exhale center. Keep alternating. The goal here is to create some space, create some length in the front of your hip, okay? So think about that. Back leg nice and straight, driving that heel towards the floor. Very good. Again, choosing a pace that just feels good to you. We have plenty of time to work with, so no need to race. Good, okay. Heading into hamstring scoops up next. This is a little bit of a dynamic stretch, which is kind of nice. It'll feel really good for the back of your legs. From here, we're gonna start off by taking one foot in front, heel to the floor, scoop through, arms come up overhead. Scoop and switch, scoop and switch. Now just go as low as your body will allow you, not forcing anything here. Just kind of playing around with the depth. Reaching as low as your body will allow. Getting a nice rotation in those shoulders as you come up. Good, just continue to switch. Point that toe up towards the ceiling. Keeping your back nice and flat. Good, last few seconds. Beautiful, okay. From there, we are heading into a good morning with a torso rotation. So on this one, feet shoulder distance apart, hands behind the head. We're gonna do that good morning. So soft knees, flat back, parallel to the floor, come up. We're gonna twist to one side. So shoulders twist, but your hips stay facing forward, okay? This is gonna get some rotation, some mobilization through that thoracic spine, which is really, really nice, especially for those of us that sit a lot of the day. So if you work at a desk or have a sedentary job, really, really nice for your posture here. Good. Sink into that breath, tuning into your whole body here, just creating that awareness of how you're feeling today. Perfect. 10 seconds to rest and transition, heading into a curtsy step with an overhead reach. So feet are close together to start here. I'm going to step with my left diagonal, so it's not a full curtsy lunge. Curtsy step, together, curtsy step, and together. Okay, so step back and diagonal, reaching that same side arm over to really create some length in the side body. So through your obliques, down through your hip, really nice stretch there. Again, take this at the pace that feels good. Breathing into the stretch to really lengthen. This workout is perfect for me today because as I am filming it, I am actually pretty sore. So this will be very, very good for me. Perfect. All right, next up, side shifting lunge. What we're gonna do is take those feet nice and wide, toes facing the front at all times. From here, we're gonna shift our weight to one side, into that side lunge. Opposite leg stays straight. Stay low as you shift over to the other side and then come up center. Go back down that same way you came up, shift it across, up in the center. Keep going. Creating some length in those inner thighs. Make sure as you go down into that lunge, you're really sitting into the heel and not putting much pressure into the toes. So most of our weight should be back. Really mobilizing that hip joint. It feels so, so good. All right, come on up nice and tall. We've got a toe reach to squat up next. So what this means is we are gonna take a hip distance stance with those feet. Keep the legs straight as we go down into that hamstring stretch. Sit into a squat, stand up nice and tall, okay? Simple as that, just go as low as your body will allow with that stretch. Sit into those heels and up. So as you transition to that squat position, I want you to really lift your chest, keep your spine nice and long, and stand. Doing so good. Keep breathing into these movements. Good. Alrighty, we're gonna head into a windmill up next. So this one, it could be helpful to have a yoga block. I don't have one, so I'll show you some modifications if you need. For a standard windmill, we're down, one hand on the floor as we open the other. Inhale down, exhale, open, okay? So if you cannot touch the floor with this one, you can either try to take your feet wider to get closer to the floor, or place a hand on your leg and open up just like that. So that also works. I have my legs straight here. That feels fine to me. So test the waters with your body. If you need a soft bend in those knees, you can also do that. but I want to see a nice length through the backs of the legs as much as possible. Perfect. All right, next up, exercise 10 already, 10 of 12. Squat, walk, single leg balance. So let's start at one end of our space. We're gonna get kind of low here. We're gonna walk it over, staying low, come up, inside leg lifts. Down, squat, walk, tap, and lift. Over, tap, lift. Now you can take that tap out if you feel stable enough and you want to work on your balance a little bit. Coming down and immediately up. This is very similar to that side shifting lunge. We're just adding a little bit of a balance at the top. Perfect, almost there. Sinking your weight into the heel. Up, tall at the top. Good. All right, doing awesome. My heart rate's elevated just a little bit here, just enough, but not enough to tax my body. Child's pose, down dog, up next. We're gonna start, let's start in down dog. Shift those hips back, upside down V. Really push through those fingertips, push through those palms. Drop to the knees, sit back over the heels, child's pose. Just hold it for about one breath, and then come back up. Downward dog, nice inhale, exhale. Child's pose, inhale, exhale. So you can see it's just a gentle way of tucking the toes and then releasing the toes as we go down in that child's pose. Perfect. Let's stay down on the floor, down on your mat. We've got what I call thread the needle. So we're going to start off in a nice tabletop position here. Take your right arm, loop it under your body, open up nice and tall. Lengthen and open that chest, switch sides. So we're going to alternate sides every other rep here. Loop it through, open, and switch. Really try to get as big of an opening as you can here with your chest as you reach up towards the ceiling. Doing so good. Keep it up. And rest. Good. That concludes our 12-minute movement series. I'm going to let you have a quick break and we're going to come back for our stretch series. So if you have shoes on, feel free to remove your shoes, grab a mat, and go ahead and meet me right back here. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and head into our 10-minute stretch series. We have 12 exercises, 50 seconds apiece, no transition time between them, but some nice long intervals to hold them. So I'll start my timer. Go ahead and meet me on your feet. There we go. All right, we're going to start with an inhale to a wide leg forward fold. So I want nice wide feet here, wider than hip distance. Take a big inhale up, overhead, arms come up, exhale, down, legs stay straight, sweep those hands on the floor. Softly bend the knees as you come back up on that inhale. Exhale, fold. Again, soft bend in those knees and up. Don't worry if you can hear my knees cracking. Perfectly normal, for me at least. No pain. Sweep and lift. Good. Keep flowing through this with your breath. keeping those legs wide, we're gonna go into that just standard wide leg hamstring stretch, but we're gonna play around with the sides a little bit. So I want you to just move between your right leg, like reaching towards your right leg, and then walking it over to your left. No specific time to stick with each before you switch, but just feel it out, what comes naturally to you. Where are you holding the most tension? Maybe you are holding in the center a little more often. Maybe you are holding on the sides a little more often. So play around with what feels good to you today. And that same thing goes for all the stretches. Again, play around with what feels best. We're going to take our attention over to the right side. Right leg is out front, half kneeling position. We're going to start upright right here, and then start to just shift into that front leg. Come back up tall, shift into that front leg. So here we're just allowing that stretch, gentle stretch through that hip. Now if you'd like, you can hold it. You can hold it there for an extended time. That doesn't always feel the best for everybody, especially if you're super sore, so feel free to take the option where you come in and out as well. No right or wrong way here. Keep your chest up tall and open. Shift your weight back towards the left leg, toe up towards the ceiling on that right leg. Right leg is nice and straight. So we're sitting most of our weight back on that left side, leaning down, hinging forward, lengthening through that hamstring. Maybe you find this uncomfortable and you want to be up a little bit higher. That's totally okay too. Again, find what works, get in that position, and then we have plenty of time to hold it. Take your attention to your breath. Try and exhale deeper into each stretch. Every time you breathe out, sinking a little deeper, releasing a little more tension. Let's set up our pigeon. So we're going to take that right heel on the same side as that left knee, line it up, bring your right knee towards the floor, and then just start to lengthen that back leg. So spreading it out, moving your hips closer to the floor, whatever that looks like for you. Breathe into it. Once you find that depth that feels good, you can come down to your elbows if you'd like, or you can stay up high with your arms straight. Release that hip, release that glute. Keep those hips square to the floor. Press up out of that one, sadly. That is my favorite stretch ever. Let's take it over to the left side. We're going to repeat that same sequence starting with that half kneeling hip stretch. So again, you have the option to hold or the option to just gently come in and out, making sure to tuck that tailbone under. Perfect, doing so good. Breathe into these stretches. Keep your chest tall and open. If any of these kneeling exercises don't feel great on your knee, just know you can put a blanket under there or roll up your mat a few times. Perfect. Single leg hamstring stretch. Let's sit back our weight onto that right side. Straighten out that left leg. Toe pointed up towards the ceiling. Fingertips grazing the floor, or maybe they're resting on your shin or on a wall. Whatever comes naturally to you, whatever allows you the best stretch. I never want you to focus on stabilizing so much that we're not focused on stretching. So set up that position that feels right. Perfect. We're going to head into that pigeon next. Take that left heel across in line with that right knee, left knee towards the floor. Start to, again, lengthen that back leg, allowing those hips to come closer to the floor. And once you have that set up, we're going to bring those elbows down to the floor if you'd like, sinking as deep as your body will allow here. Now if you feel yourself still clenching in this stretch, really try and release here. So often we clench to kind of protect ourselves, but just need to tell our bodies that it's safe, that we can sink into that stretch, we can get comfortable. Perfect. All right, we're going to come up to a tall kneeling position. From here we have overhead reaches, so I want you to go ahead and take a big inhale first. Exhale, one arm up and over. Inhale, back down. Exhale, other arm reaches up and over. Inhale, down. Just keep following your breath with this one. Reaching on the exhale. Replacing that arm on the inhale. Getting as much length and lift as you can through the lat, through the oblique, through the side of your body. Next up, we have a chest opener. We're going to stay in this tall kneeling position. From here, we're going to clasp the hands behind the back. Open up that chest by straightening the arms. From here, I want you to test the waters with lifting those arms just a little bit. See what that feels like. Really think about expanding your chest as much as possible here. Something I like to do with my chest stretches as well is while I hold it, allowing myself to do just some gentle neck stretching. So just taking one ear to one shoulder and switching. So allow yourself to do that if you have some tension in your neck, which I think we all do. Perfect. Let's take ourselves back to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, sink those hips back, upside down V. From here, we're going to pedal out those feet. So just bending one knee, extending the other. Getting a nice calf stretch. Stretch through the back of your legs. Stretch through your shoulders. Push through your palms. Lengthening and lifting. So good. Keep it up. We just have one stretch left after this. We're going to sink into our child's pose. Good. Knees down to the mat. Sink your hips back over your heels. Walk those hands out center first. We're going to play around with some directions here, or some sides. Just starting in the center, a couple deep breaths. Go ahead and walk your hands to the right side of your mat. Take left hand on top of right hand. Really lengthening through the left side of the body, down through the left hip. Perfect. Let's take those hands, walk them all the way to the left side. Right hand on top of left hand. Same idea, getting a nice stretch through the lat, through the side body, down through the right hip. And walk those hands back up. You are all finished. That is it for our restorative bodyweight workout today. Thank you so much for taking this time. I hope you are refreshed and ready to get back to your regular workout routine. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Workout complete.